Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A bizarre crash here in Sterling Heights. A Dodge truck goes airborne into a house. Coming up exactly just how that happened.
A new study out of U of M found a third of parents won't be sending their kids back to school in September. Tonight, hear from parents weighing their district's changing policies with their child's safety.
Okay, Priya, but we begin with Storm Tracker 4 and the threat of severe weather heading into tonight.
We want to get right to Andrew tracking what could be headed our way. What's the latest, Andrew?
Well, Kimberly and Karen, we're looking at run-of-the-mill showers for now. The greatest impact of any strong to severe storm activity takes place after 8 o'clock this evening. But up until then, you still want to be careful with any wet road conditions. You can see scattered light showers still exist right here in Motown, now across southern Ontario as well. We might get a break from some of this rain within the next hour or so, but then it picks up because we have more shower activity and thunderstorm activity to our west. Back toward Chicago, tons of lightning in southern Wisconsin, and a severe thunderstorm watch there for southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, including the Windy City, until 10 o'clock this evening. Now, we don't have any watches or warnings up yet, but there is still at least the slight to enhanced risk of strong to severe storms. That means the possibility of heavy downpours and the possibility of some damaging wind and even hail. But as we go through the rest of this evening, we're looking at temperatures that will continue to be in the middle and upper 70s to about 80 degrees. Then as we go into later on tonight, here's my timeline for you. Up until 8 o'clock, some showers may still exist, some lightning here and there, but by the end of dinner time, 8 p.m. and afterward, up until midnight, that's the best chance of the heaviest rain and the strongest storms, even some scattered storms shortly after midnight. We'll talk more about what happens afterward and your full weekend in minutes.
Okay, Andrew. Now to a concerning trend in coronavirus numbers here in Michigan. Today, the state reports 389 new cases of the virus. Also, one person has died in the past 24 hours.
The state also reports testing has remained steady with an average of 14,000 tests a day in our state. Right now, there are currently 7,000 active cases of coronavirus in Michigan. And across the country, it isn't much better. Today alone, Florida reported nearly 9,000 new cases, prompting the governor to ban bars from serving alcohol.
And in Texas, the governor is telling all residents to just stay home. Also today, an update from the coronavirus task force. It's first since April. Alice Barr is in Washington tonight following this troubling surge.
Good evening. The task force briefing today is a sign of how serious the situation has become. Governors in Texas and Florida abruptly ordered bars to close today as leaders across the country struggle to get the virus under control. The coronavirus task force addressing a worried nation today for the first time in nearly 2 months as cases surge across the South and West. States like Florida and Texas reporting stunning new records.
We are facing a serious problem in certain areas.
The U.S. has now recorded nearly 2.5 million cases and more than 125,000 deaths.
In 34 states, the cases are largely stable.
Vice President Pence, the task force leader, downplaying the threat, pointing out death rates have slowed and defending the president's decision to hold large rallies.
The right to peaceably assemble is enshrined in the Constitution of the United States, and we have an election coming up this fall.
He also declined to urge all Americans to wear masks, as his own experts strongly advise. President Trump, who was not at the briefing, continues to claim cases are rising because we're testing more, even suggesting there's been too much testing. But top health officials laid out today it's not just cases, but the rate of positive cases going up, appealing directly to people under 40 who are now seeing soaring infection rates as they venture out to crowded areas like bars and restaurants.
If you get infected, you will infect someone else, and then ultimately you will infect someone who's vulnerable.
Even as the pandemic grows, the Trump administration is now asking the Supreme Court to shut down the Affordable Care Act, a move that could boot an estimated 20 million Americans off their insurance and take away protections for pre-existing conditions.
It's immoral for the government to go into court and take people's health insurance away in the middle of a pandemic.
A White House spokesman today calling Obamacare an unlawful failure. The Trump administration has not offered an alternative to the Affordable Care Act if the Supreme Court were to strike it down. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Governor Whitmer has extended the temporary suspension of evictions until July 15th. That ban was previously set to expire next Tuesday. The governor has also created the eviction diversion program, which will start on July 16th. And that program will help residents get rental assistance or establish a payment plan so they can stay in their home.
Tonight, a report out of U of M is shedding new light on just how comfortable parents are with sending their kids back to school. The short answer is not very. Let's get to Priya Mann. She's live tonight. Priya, 1/3 of parents surveyed say they don't plan to send their children back to class.
Yeah, and there's so many things to consider, Kim. If you have a kindergartner, do you want them required to wear a mask? What if playgrounds are closed? And how do you feel about random COVID-19 testing? This study is shedding new light on everything parents have to consider before September.
I'm on the fence. I know that they need school, but I'm not sure that it's safe.
I don't think anything would kind of reassure me in order for me to be like, okay, yes, he can go to school.
Desiree lives in Detroit, and her son Dallas is starting 3rd grade in the fall.
I don't think he's going back.
Stephanie lives in St. Clair Shores, and she's talking to her 12 and 14-year-olds about whether they want to go back.
My son, he's kind of afraid right now, and my daughter, she needs school. I think she really wants to go back.
A study out of U of M found 2/3 of parents will be sending their kids back to school. But Black, Hispanic, or Asian parents were less likely to send all of their kids to school compared with white or non-Hispanic parents.
We know more people who have died from the disease. We've experienced family members and friends being sick. It is very much real in our communities.
The study also found that 40% of low-income households were unsure or had decided against sending all of their kids to school.
There's a disparity because there are a lot of parents who can't choose to stay home. They need to work in order to feed their families.
As school districts prepare for a radically different return, the study found nearly 2/3 of parents supported decreasing the number of kids on buses, alternating between in-person and virtual classes, staggering arrival and pickup times, and random weekly COVID-19 testing for staff.
I want my son to be educated, but at the same time, we want them here at the end of the day. You know, we don't want to lose anyone.
Now, coming up at 6, we'll hear more results from this study, as well as hear from superintendents who say they're looking at summer school as a litmus test of sorts to what they can expect in the fall. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
And Priya, researchers at U of M expect these numbers will change.
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke to the lead researcher, and he says, you know, if COVID numbers continue to rise or there's more virtual classes available, he expects the number of parents who are opting out of school will change dramatically. So, of course, he called this a snapshot in time.
Sure. Remains to be seen. Okay, Priya, thank you. Well, now to brand new information tonight after a truck goes flying into a house in Sterling Heights.
The driver of that truck was found dead behind the wheel. Our Grant Herms has a look at how this all happened as a neighborhood is left in shock.
As crews work to repair the home, police are investigating just how this Dodge Ram truck went airborne, sending it through that house, killing the driver behind the wheel. Police say it happened around 10:15 this morning. The driver of the pickup speeding north down Hanks. The truck crosses the busy 19-mile boulevard and launches off the median. The wheel marks still on the curb. The truck flies through the air over a mailbox and trash can, narrowly missing the overhead power lines, into the corner of the house some 20 yards away. The house is only a year old, built by the homeowner's father, who surveyed the damage left in awe. While homeowners and neighbors didn't want to go on camera, they said they heard the boom and ran to see what had happened. From inside, one of the homeowners said all she could see was dust and smoke. Her husband told her to call 911 as he worked unsuccessfully to free the driver from the truck. Neighbors have been working for years to get drivers to slow down. The residential streets often used to bypass 19-mile and nearby traffic lights. One longtime resident said they tried to make the street a cul-de-sac nearly 15 years ago to cut down on traffic, but it never took. A sad and bizarre scene in a neighborhood where warning signs were everywhere when stop signs were not. And we are several blocks back from where that scene is, just so you can see how far neighbors here say that driver ramped up his speed. The only stop sign, by the way, in this entire stretch of this road is right here and right here, the same intersection. The neighbors say the driver even clipped a mailbox coming down the street, starting from behind this stop sign here. Now, we don't know the identity of that driver just yet or what caused him to be involved in this crash. But what we do know is that this crash caused thousands of dollars of damage to that home that will definitely have to be repaired now. In Sterling Heights, Grant Herms, Local 4.
And obviously that loss of life. All right. Thank you, Grant.
The threat of COVID-19 has not stopped partiers from enjoying the 46th annual Jabi Nooner. Sky 4 was over the scene this afternoon near Gull Island in Lake St. Clair. Hundreds of boats and partiers came together for this year's event. Many thought it would be canceled due to the pandemic, but instead organizers decided to keep the event going.
They are the people most vulnerable to the coronavirus, and the numbers prove it.
New tonight, the Defenders getting expert insight into what went wrong inside nursing homes right at the height of the pandemic. Hank.
A new warning from Michigan's Attorney General tonight. The new scam targeting those of you trying to file for unemployment benefits. What you need to know to protect your money. Coming up in my Help Me Hank report.
All right, Hank, but first, I go one-on-one with Dr. Deborah Birx, one of the leaders of America's coronavirus response. That's next.